Hey guys, today we're here with Simon from New Zealand to learn about his experience in Germany as an international student. Hi Simon.
Hey, how's it going?
Thank you very much for coming. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Good for a Wednesday.
Um, could you say what you're studying here?
Yeah, I'm studying a bachelor's in environment and energy here at Rheinland.
hmm So I'd like to start off to an outsider, New Zealand seems like a very relaxed place to live in, a beautiful country where you can travel a lot. How does that compare with what you have right now in Germany? Which style do you prefer?
Um, at the moment, I'd probably prefer the New Zealand style. As you've said, it's quite relaxed and laid back.
Yeah.
The biggest difference so far, or the immediate difference, is the amount of people. In New Zealand, we only have like 4.6 million people, and in Germany it's 80-something million. So it's a bit of a people shock when you get here. You see so many people around. But with the travelling aspect, the public transport in Germany is awesome, so you don't need a car to get anywhere. And that really helps and makes travelling and exploring around Germany really, really nice. And I do like other parts of Germany, like the south of Germany. I find really beautiful with the environment and the pristine sort of landscape. It's really nice. So a bit of both worlds, but I think New Zealand's more laid back and, as you say, a lot of scenery. I really miss the beaches from back home, which you don't have much of over here. So yeah.
And being connected to the world, with being everything is in proximity of 10 kilometers here. Do you find it an advantage or a drawback?
I'd say an advantage. Like as I said before, if you want to go anywhere in New Zealand, the public transport sucks. So you have to have a car to get anywhere. But in Germany, you can just catch a train or a bus or even cycle. I love how they have cycle lanes here. So I'd say it's a big advantage that Germany has this interconnectivity that you can get to places quite easily. So yeah.
You're using English as your primary language of communication. So how essential would you say German is in your everyday life? Can you get by with English only?
Yeah, I wouldn't say German is that essential for my everyday life. Obviously, we study in English here at university. I hang out with a lot of university people, and we're all international, so we all converse in English. So a lot of my free time is spent talking English, and a lot of the people I talk to are of the younger generation, so everyone knows a bit of English.
Yeah.
I only really use German when I need to do things like register my address when I move house or go shopping, and it's very sort of minimal, basic German. But then again, I do like talking German, try to practice German with German-speaking people. But yeah, it's not essential at all to know German. You can get by without it, I'd say.
Great. I want to ask about your paperwork. How hard was it to get everything necessary to come here?
For me, it was quite easy. I had the advantage of being a dual citizen and having British citizenship. So I had a British passport, which pretty much entitled me to live and work here without any paperwork, really. To apply for university, I applied through Uni Assist. There was a bit of a hiccup when they didn't relate my grades in New Zealand to German grades because they needed specific breakdowns of grades, but a few email communications later and they forwarded on to uni, and it was a pretty straightforward process. So just got accepted, moved over, and that was it. Just registered my address when I got in Germany and no more paperwork.
It's not too hard as long as you're a dual citizen, right?
Yeah, but then Brexit's happening now, so I don't know how that's going to play out, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. For many it is a huge trouble to find a place to live here. How did you find yours?
Yeah, so the first place I found, I looked on WG gesucht. It was quite challenging, I'd say. Like, there's a lot of places out there, however the response ratio was very, very low. So as soon as the first place that responded to me and said, yep, come and have a look, I hopped on a plane from London, checked out the place and said, yep, I'll take it, because I only had like 2 or 3 weeks to find a place, because the uni only replied to me 2 or 3 weeks before uni started, so it was a bit of a rush to find a place. And I've spoken to some other people, and yeah, it is quite hard to find a place because there's a lot of demand for places as well for uni students here, and yeah, I'd say the response ratio was quite low. So yeah, it was pretty challenging at the start.
And when you were looking for a flat, which language did you use?
So pretty much all the adverts were in German and sometimes with English. I would try out a little bit of my German on the old email, and it might not be perfect, but they understood what I said. And then when I met up with a person, she spoke English, and we just started speaking English. So yeah, I tried to start off in German, and then we switched to English.
Do you find it affordable to live here?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Compared to back home, it's a lot cheaper. Compared to other cities I've looked around in, it's pretty cheap. And yeah, the standard of living is quite affordable, I'd say. Yeah.
Great. Is there anything you wish you knew before you came here that would have helped, that would have made your life easier?
It's a good question. I don't know if there's anything that would have tremendously helped to make my life easier in Germany. The one thing that I have come across, which I can't really say it's a specific thing, but is how many rules and regulations there are in Germany and how much red tape you got to go through to get things done. Like for example, moving house, I had to go and register, and then I had not the correct form, and I had to go fill out another form, and it has to be signed by the same person. I basically had some paperwork that said something, and because it wasn't set out in a certain way, they couldn't do anything. And I'd say if you're going to do anything that involves the state, be prepared to spend the whole day queuing up, because at all these state offices there's so many people there, and it's a very slow process. So I guess just all the rules and regulations you'd have to learn and get to know. But in saying that, yeah, I'm not sure if that would, you can't do anything about it, so I'm not sure if that would make a difference if you knew about it beforehand or not.
Yeah, it might have. Have you experienced any cultural shock here?
Not really. I think on one occasion I had one guy who might have been of Turkish German descent, and he told me in German to go back to my country. And I started replying back in English saying, yeah, my country's alright, I'm just here, you know. Everyone can be in Germany to enjoy it. But apart from that, no, it's no more sort of bad culture shock like that. I think the German culture is really cool, like, yeah, everyone kind of gets along and functions quite well. You integrate a lot of refugees here. So yeah, I don't think there's been any other shocks apart from that one incident.
What was your best experience here so far?
The best experience in Germany so far, I'd say spending 2 months in the Allgäu region down south of Germany. As I said before, I really love the scenery, and down there I was like down right by the Alps, and we went hiking up the mountain, and yeah, just really pristine environment there and chilled. So I really liked that, and I was staying in a small town and there were more cows than people. I'm just sitting on the side of the hill one day, and all these cows started walking past with these big bells on their necks, and started ringing. I was like, what's that noise? And then see a whole line of cows walking past, and I was like, oh yeah, it's pretty cool. Don't see that every day, so I really liked that sort of thing in Germany. So yeah.
Can you tell me one stereotype about Germany which turned out to be true, and one which turned out to be false?
Okay, I think some people say the Germans are not that friendly. I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, I remember just riding my bike or walking and saying hi to people, and they kind of like, oh, why are you saying hi to me? Like, or just waving, and they think, oh, who's this guy? Like back home, we see someone, we say hi, they say hi, or you make small talk. If I go to the shops and I say, how's your day going, to the cashier, they reply and stuff. Over here they're like, oh, yeah, I'm good, but why? So I guess they're a bit standoffish at the start, but once you get to know a German person, they're really friendly. So I guess there's the other side to it, that, yeah, Germans are really helpful and friendly, but you've got to get to know them first. And another one that was false, yeah, I haven't really heard too much about stereotypes really, but just that one with the meeting people at first and being friendly, I guess.
Great.
So, yeah.
It means you came here with no prejudice at all, right?
Yeah, I just came to study and check it out, and yeah, be open to what Germany has to offer, so yeah.
Great. And my closing question, is it worth for you to be here considering, after all, considering how separated you are from your family and relatives?
Yeah, for me it was a really big decision because I was working for a long time before I decided I wanted to study, and being very far away from family and friends. So when I left New Zealand, I hadn't been back. The first time I went back was 3 years later, so that was just last few months. So it was really hard being away from friends and family, and then going back was awesome. But I think it's worth it here because I get a really good education in Germany, and when I think of a German education, I think of quality and reputation, and that can open a lot of doors for me in the future. Another big draw card studying here was the cost. Back in New Zealand, tuition fees are a lot more than what you pay in Europe. Like, it's basically free to study here.
Yeah.
And the only fee we pay is for our students, whākatā, our student transport ticket, and that's a really big plus. Like, without this transport ticket, it'll be a lot more expensive to get to uni and travel around. So I think it is really worth it, and we studied in English, so I don't have to really learn a lot of German to complete the degree. So yeah, I think it's a good decision in the end.
Okay, thank you very much.
Cheers, sir.
Thank you, Simon. Bye.